Hey everybody, today's video is going to be inspired and even clarified a little bit by one of my favorite authors in golf, Fred Shoemaker. Fred Shoemaker has two really awesome books, one Extraordinary Golf and Extraordinary Putting. And Fred's unique perception on the game, inspired by originally Timothy Galway of Inner Game of Golf, really gets you to see it a little bit different side of how skill development is such a natural and instinctual part of us. He has a really unique exercise called the club throw exercise. So if you've read his book, you're very familiar with it. Not as to solve the golf swing, that was never Fred's intent, but to certainly give you an insight to the possibility of what your body innately already knows when you try to throw a golf club versus you try to actually hit a golf ball. The basic on this, the basic gist of this is that most players, because they're trying to do something odd with the golf club, they're trying to control the golf club, they always have that kind of flipped impact. But as soon as you video them actually just throwing or letting the golf club go with the intent to throw it down the target line, there's an immediate change in the possibility. That's something also that unlocks very nicely with my training aid, the Pro. But I wanted to delve in that because there's actually a little bit of a misperception in the true intent of a golf motion relative to that exercise. So I love Fred for all the wonderful exercises I've explored and experimented from his books, and again I highly recommend them. But I want to explain this one exact exercise and give a little bit of a different take on it, so y'all can understand it and maybe clarify your true perception of the golf motion. So when we perform the Fred Shoemaker club throwing exercise, what we get here is we have this really awesome exercise that unlocks some possibility. So the ultimate goal with the exercise is just simply, instead of having the intention to actually try to hit the golf ball or do whatever comes up when everybody tries to swing the golf club or hit the golf ball, the intention now is to let the golf club and let it fly down the target line. Okay, and so that creates a very, very different possibility. The body intuitively, when it's trying to throw the club head, works very, very differently. It loses all the other things that we kind of bring into golf, like the contact of the ball, where it goes and all that. And it's just simply, hey, just throw the golf club down the target line. It doesn't solve the golf swing, but it's a wonderful exploration. So what usually happens when somebody does the Fred Shoemaker club throw exercise from the get-go is they throw it behind. And so you got to be very careful, and that's highly you got to have a lot of space and have nobody around. But generally, because the player, if they're so kind of golf bound to how to swing the golf club with their hands and their wrists, they generally do this, and it goes back behind them. So because they're so used to applying a leverage force to actually trying to get the golf club to hit the golf ball for them, or what I would call they're trying to swing the club. But with a little bit of coaching and a little bit of awareness, they very rapidly learn how to throw it more like this, where they're letting it go so it's throwing itself down the target line. And all of a sudden, the impact position, if you video that in slow motion, you see, wow, look at how nice that looks. The arm and the golf club get forward, and the body seems to be in a pretty good spot. But there is one thing that's missing in this that doesn't translate to golf, and I think we can take this, if we take this one more step further and add a different dimension or intention to it, then it will actually change things instinctively, even for the better. And that is the very, very important understanding, is that although that unlocks a new possibility, the true intention of a golf motion is not to swing the golf club at the ball, swing it to the target, even throw it to the target. That actually creates movements that would make it impossible to actually hit the golf ball. So if I'm in a throwing to the target motion, I'm still going to be stuck with trying to find the ball with my hands and my wrists, because the intention of throwing has an inbuilt shift that actually will kind of delay the actual release of the golf club. Well, I want the release of the golf club, or the energy of the golf club, to make sure it gets to the golf ball and goes to the target. And that's where we have to change the idea. So instead of throwing it to the target, the actual intention would be to throw it at the golf ball. If I had to throw it at the golf ball, a couple things are going to change rapidly in my body motion. I'm going to get more open, because that gives me the maximum amount of instinctual energy to get it to the golf ball. And then I'm also going to naturally move my body in a very different way. So the act of throwing the golf club in the direction of the golf ball creates a very, very different body support that's instinctual. Whereas the instinctual body support for throwing to the target actually has more of this lean in here. So there's an incompatibility in that. So I love the possibility of the club throw. If we take it to one more step further, then we're going to actually learn that the golf swing is actually a throw in the direction of the golf ball. Now, throwing the club in the direction of the golf ball isn't very gratifying because it just kind of sticks into the ground, but it definitely does create a different change. So one more time, if I'm throwing to the target line, it'll look like that, but if I actually throw it to the golf ball, it'll look like that. That's a big change. So at the end of this video, I have slow motions of both things, and you'll see a very, very clear difference in the way my body instinctually acts. I always find the best way to actually practice the club throwing at the ball is to get on the edge of the bunker, which you'll see in the slow motion video. So when you throw the ball into the bunker, you actually can just kind of ground the golf club in there and get that feeling. But if you video yourself doing that, you're going to notice there's a wildly different look and intention. So the last thing to clarify then, once I've explored this exercise and go, okay, hey, it's a throw at the golf ball, it actually really, or it's a better intention, if you will, than a throw to the target. The next thing is to go, well, what makes the ball go to the target? Well, the interesting thing is that when I actually move this golf club as an intention to throw it to the golf ball, built in that throw, because of the design of the golf club, is an elliptical orbit, or a spiral, as I've said, that extends out to the golf ball. My intention is to get this really efficient movement to the golf ball. The face then becomes the solver. So this is why grip is important. There's no perfect grip for anybody. You can be stronger, you can be weaker. It depends on the way your wrists bend. We all learn that very intuitive. We figure out that how for ourselves. But the intention of actually throwing at the ball creates the look of a more elite golf swing. It doesn't go way out here with any cast. It tends to stay narrow to the body, and then it tends to have what we would call what appears to be a late release. But it's just simply in the intention of throwing to the ball. And then the face, depending on how you hold it or what you want to do with it, is going to actually create the shot to the target. So if you think about always trying to apply force and flip the club or send the club or swing to the target or swing to right field, whatever it is, you're already behind the 8 ball. You actually don't have the right intention. If the intention is to throw it at the golf ball and let the face take care of the work for you, then you'll start getting the shots you want to get, and you're going to start perceiving in a way. So when you practice, you start learning the sensations of the throw at the golf ball and the results that you get, and then those become the predictabilities of your golf shots. All right, hope you guys found that enjoyable. We'll see you all next time.